let me say, a word in defense of reason in dialogue with faith.
Because faith is that proof. Faith unites us to that substance.
But reason, in order to realize its full potential, needs the horizons revealed by and truths contained in the faith. And not just any faith, but the Catholic faith.
And I want to start out with my father's own conversion. My father and mother were pagans, basically. They had never gone to church, never been taught to pray, and they were in Detroit, Michigan. And in 1953, Billy Graham came to Detroit. And my mom heard him speak and fell on her knees on the kitchen floor and started to cry and asked Jesus to come into her heart in the Baptist kind of tradition. And my dad thought he was having cancer. He thought he was dying. So he went out one night on the front porch of our house and he looked up into the stars and he said, "If there's a God, I don't even know if you're up there. But if you are, I ask you to help me. I need your help." He went to bed, got up the next morning, went to Ford Motor Company, and the first thing in the morning, a man came up to my father. And he said, "Charlie Ray, can I talk to you?" And my dad said, "Yes, what?" He says, "I have to tell you something. You need Jesus Christ in your life." Less than 24 hours later, and my dad became a Christian. I have a question for you. Do you think that man that talked to my father was a Catholic? Why not? Why do you all just assume no? Isn't it funny? Isn't it sad that you all assume and just nonchalantly figure out it wasn't a Catholic? I'm going to get back to that in a little later. But why should we evangelize? Why are Catholics? Why should we evangelize? Why are we comfortable with not talking to people about Jesus? I'm a convert from evangelical Protestantism, and you're not going to get me stuck in that rut. I like to talk to people about Jesus. And we'll get to that in the second part of the talk. My wife said I have way too many notes for my few minutes that I have. But why don't we evangelize? You know, you could actually say, why should we? Life is short. Let's just go out and eat, drink, and be merry. Let's just have a good time. Go to the vacation house. Let's just spend time watching football and getting involved in sports and have a good beer. Why waste our time embarrassing ourselves and getting in tough situations and telling people about Jesus? Let's just live life and let them live their life. But the reason that we can't do that is because life, there's a real reality out there. And there's a reality of heaven and hell. And the reason that I think, besides all these things, the one reason I think that we need to evangelize is because we need to know what a human being is. What is a man? What is a woman? Why should we tell them about Jesus? Why are they important? Our generation, with abortion and all the other things going on, treats people like they're really not that significant. People are dispensable. There are so many of us. We have too many populating the earth anyway. We could do with a few less. But why do we as Catholics think it's important to evangelize? Because we understand what a man is. They are made in the image of God, and they are made for eternity. And can you imagine that one soul, every single soul here is an eternal being, and this eternal being will live forever? Do you have any concept of what forever is? And how important that, what is forever? Eternity. Just think you were going to live for eternity. God made you in his image to live with him for eternity, and those who don't live with him for eternity will live in eternity in hell. Dr. Hahn yesterday said how there's no escape. We're all going to die. It's 100% mortality, but after that we're also 100% still alive in one of two places. Do you know who understands the value of human life and the value of being infinitely made in God's eyes more than anybody but God himself? The devil! The devil knows how important a soul is. That's why his whole campaign of rage against God is to destroy even one human being. If he can destroy one human being, he has done something in his mind that's good, because he hates God more than anything else. And he can't touch God because God can't be touched by the devil. The only thing the devil can do to hurt God is to destroy what God loves. And what God loves is the human being made in his own image. If we understand how much Satan hates one soul, we will understand why it's important that we evangelize. Why we tell people about Jesus. We must be devoted as Satan is. Don't tell Dr. Hahn I said that. We have to have every bit as much devotion as the devil himself, because he's out to destroy and we're out to save. And one human soul lasts forever.